Good morning. Welcome to the Java Cafe, Java fam.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. Today is Tuesday. Oh God, I put June 187. Already starting out, going to mess up. I'm sitting here a little, I won't say nervous. I'm sitting here anticipating the great black joy that's going to come from Jonathon Gates this morning. It is Testimony Tuesday. We're going to hear a little bit of his testimony, but also when I was thinking about bringing him in, when I reached out last week, he, along with many others in our community, have been dealing with multiple transitions. I said yesterday that there's a group of about 60 brothers in this city that between them, they're interconnected. Their intersectionality is in service, coaching, community, some from the streets, keep it 100. And between them, there have been about 6-7 deaths. And I just really wanted to be intentional. Yes, Uncle JG, as I call him, is going to share some of his testimony, but there's no way in the world that he's going to be on here today and not make me turn as red as all the colors you see here in the background. So without further ado, because I know his time is valuable, he's not being compensated for this. So do me a favor, hit that share button and invite others into the Java Cafe. And I will like to present to some, introduce to others, Jonathon Gates, prayer warrior, comedian, father, dad, truth teller, shamer when he has to, and just a good brother. And I have to start off, Uncle JG, the most recent service that you've been to was of Brother Lassett yesterday. And so I wanted to check in with you, ask you how you're doing, and then offer, any time that you wanted to give condolences to him and other brothers as well, and just offer you the platform.
Well, good morning. Thank you for having me. And I want to start off by saying you don't have to be nervous. I'm your friend, Jimmy. I'm your friend. Okay? Just know that I'm your friend and I love you.
I love you too. Yes, sir.
Yesterday, how some people say some good people gone too soon?
Yes.
When you say a good man, I'm gonna say everything that he stood for. He was a great father. He was a great husband. He was a great friend. He was a great mentor in the community for kids. I would watch him do things for boys who didn't have fathers. He'd pay for them to play football. He'd drive them back and forth. He did a lot. Sometimes, it's understated what a great man in the community is, and this guy was one. And he was very young. To me, he was only 52, and that's Brew Lassett is his name, and you got to see the love pour out for him yesterday at Bethel Amy and Northeastern. Opened up the doors for the repast, and everybody came out, and it was good. It was a good homegoing service.
I wanted to offer that time because last night, as I said, we confirmed last night, and it dawned on me that trying to get you here, and it seemed that I was, insensitive to that you're, mourning. And so I want to thank you for doing that. And I know, you do what you do, and your philosophy just on life in general helps you get through things like this. But I did want to offer that time, sir, along with he and others who have transitioned in the past few months. If I could also, before we go into some of your testimony, is if you could get all the brothers that have been dealing with this in a room and say something to them, and this can lead into your testimony about their health, about their mental health. There's compiled mourning and grieving going on right now. And you know, sometimes how we do, we some of us handle it in various different ways. So if you were able to just speak to these young men about health, about mourning, taking care of themselves, what message would you give them?
Learn. Learn from the others before you. Learn that we as black men, we're not indestructible. We as black men don't like going to the hospitals. We don't like having that message tell us what's wrong, because men are protectors and men are providers, and men are supposed to be the be all. But it's okay, men, to be vulnerable. Go get checked, because we are dying at a young age because we're being health. Let me see what the word I want to use is. We're being health mental deficient. That's who I think that's what we're doing. We're healthy mentally deficient when it comes to what we should do. You know what I mean? So I think I want to do like a PSA for men's black health, because it is men's black health month, that whatever you need to do, go do it. Listen, I'm so proactive on men's health now. My copay is so high. The last time I went in, they was like, "What do you need?" I said, "I need a physical. I need to get checked for cancer. I need a cancer. I need the heart." As a matter of fact, let me get a pap smear. Let me get my breast reduced. Let me get everything done. I said, I'm paying for it. I'm going all in. Give me a mammogram, squeeze me inside the machines. I want to feel what the women feel. I put my legs up in the stirrups and come on, doc, going up in there.
Jesus. I'm not even going to go to the comments, Jesus, but we got to have this. As a part of this too is Black Joy, but this is a good segue. As you also, I didn't mention that you're also a radio personality and host, but you talked about mental health. This is Men's Mental Health Month. A couple of years ago, Uncle JG, as we're talking about health and mental health, I had the opportunity to host you at the Dee Dee's Cry Men's Mental Health Summit. And I had observed some things on social media, had talked to you and checked on you. But that day I found out that I almost said something. Negro, you are a walking, you talk about miracles and walking testimony, sir. You are a literal walking testimony. And there's some brothers that I know that are on the spectrum of dealing with kidney disease and kidney failure. And so if you can, and folks that are tuning in, Uncle JD is going to incorporate comedy there. I know some of you are here for the inducing of Black Joy, but it's Testimony Tuesday, and you saw a little bit of his serious side, but I also want you all to know that this man is a walking. This is why he exudes so much joy and has a don't give a
pretty much.
So come on, sir. Tell us a little bit about your testimony.
Well, first of all, I can't see the comments, but I would love to know what the comments were saying after I said that.
The pap smear.
Yeah.
Nothing too much yet. Thank you, Jesus, because we got a lot of church mothers in here, but I'm sure they're coming.
Okay. Well, I am, and I tell everybody. Most people know Jonathan Gates, the comedian. Some people know Jonathan Gates, the radio personality, but I'm very spiritually connected. I'm one of them church boys from a little town called Ellery, South Carolina, that my grandfather, my grandmother, my mom, my aunts, my uncles, I'm well grounded in my faith. And to prove it, no matter how much I believe I'm in control of everything, God is to be all, to be all. I am a walking testimony. I've been through so much in 5 to 6 years. You all should have had my memorial very soon. I'll take you back. I'll take you back when my blood sugar level, we had a snowstorm, and I called myself going outside to shovel. I put on so much clothes, Jimmy, because I was hallucinating. I was sitting in the bathroom thinking I'm waiting on the bus to go to the hospital. I was so out of it. My mind was going everywhere, but something inside of me said, you got to get to the hospital. You got to get to the hospital. So, I'm a comedian and we don't have health insurance. And, I know an ambulance from my house in Mattapan to Beth Israel would have been $750. So I took a Uber in the snow. The funniest thing ever, Jimmy. I gotta believe if I can laugh through it, I can go through it.
Yes, sir.
So I'm on my way to the hospital. I'm in the back. I'm making all kind of noise, like oh God. Oh, the guy, the Uber driver goes, Mira, you don't sound too good. You okay? I go, so right. Every time I groan, he will speed up. And, I'm on the Jamaica way. I can tell that he called Uber. Like, the guy in my car don't sound good. What do I do? Do I put him out? It was like, nah, you got to take him to his destination. I think that I was hallucinating. I was, this guy like, oh, Mina, please don't do that. Don't not here, stop. You do too much, Papa. No good, no good. You got to stop. So he gets me to Beth Israel. I don't think I closed the door. So he took off. So now they take me in. They can bring a wheelchair. They take me in. I'm in the emergency room, and I'm in scrutiny. I'm just in agony, not in pain. I just don't know what's going on. And they were so sensitive to me that they didn't know what was going on. And I'm gonna tell you how good God is.
Yes, sir.
The older black lady in the waiting room said, "Hey, that's Uncle JG. You do not treat our crown jewel like that. You all come out here and you get him right now." They were like, "Ma'am, you next." She was like, "No, you take him in and you find out what's wrong with my favorite uncle." I remember that. See, that's God interceding on your part,
Do
right
a
there.
black woman. Do
A
a black
black
woman.
woman.
Let's raise that. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. So now they take me in. This white dude, like, yo, let me take. He said, "Are you a diabetic?" I said, They told me I was pre-diabetic. Yes, sir. So he said, "Let me take your blood sugar level, Jimmy. I don't know if you have sensors on this thing." But he read it. He was like, "Holy beep, beep, beep."
You can say it.
I said, "You don't yell out like that to no black people. What the hell is wrong with you?" He's like, "Let me do that again." Jimmy, he yelled and screamed again. I said, "Hey, my man, cut that out. This Jamaican nurse coming here. Hold on, what's going on here?" He's like, "Take his blood sugar, take his blood sugar." She goes, "Lord of mercy, you should be dead." My blood sugar was at 1480. 1480. They explained to me I didn't have blood right there. I had syrup running through my veins. That's what that I was in the hospital. I remember they got me in. I was in the hospital. I was in the hospital for like 12 days. That I was on 120 units of insulin 3 times a day. This is what happened to me. And and this is gonna sound funny, but God has a way of reminding you He's in charge.
Mm-hmm.
I remember that doctor said, "Well, you're gonna be on this for a while." I said, "I don't think so. I know a better doctor than you. You got a degree, but he is the degree." So, and this is my disclaimer to the world. I go over to Dana Farber, going through it, and they were telling me what I can do, what I can't do, what I should do, and so this older white woman was my counselor. Everybody else was telling me, "Don't do this." She's like, "Hey, I see you. You're an entertainer." I go, "Yes, ma'am." She said, "Well, there's some things I want to say to you to help you change your life." She said, "Everything you put in your body white turns to sugar. The lighter, the whiter, the sweeter it goes." So she said, "Nothing else white for you for a long time." So I go, no more white girls? She goes, and Jimmy, she said, no more white chicks for you, buddy. So then she goes, I see you always in a club. I said, yeah, I like to have a drink or two. Should I just change to wine? Because they say wine is better than liquor. You know, this old white woman told me, straight
What?
whiskey, homie. Don't add no juice. Don't add no soda. Straight whiskey. I'm like, get out of here. She was like, let me tell you something. They won't tell you, but liquor lowers your blood sugar. I was like, get low. I said, liquor is made out of sugar. She said, listen, who are you going to believe, me or what you want to believe? I remember at Slade's, this is a true story. I remember I took my blood sugar when I left home. I left home that morning. My blood sugar was 185. I had so I went and did the radio and I ended up at Slade's. I forgot my insulin. I took the meter. My blood sugar was at 215, and I just said, you know what? I'm a test this lady's theory.
Give
I
me a
had
shot.
three. I had 3 shots of whiskey. I got home, Jimmy. My blood sugar was 115. I was like, oh, they done woke up the devil. They done woke up the devil.
Man.
So moving forward, after doing things and changing things, and guess what, Jimmy? I'm no longer on insulin. I'm no longer on metformin. I'm no longer. My blood sugar level is down. My A1C is under 5. So that's just how God works in His way.
Yes, sir.
I'm not supposed to be. I'm supposed to be on the insulin. I'm supposed to be crying. I'm supposed to say, "Oh God, why me?" But He already showed me why Him. You know what I mean? So
Yes, sir.
that's one incident right there, Jim. I believe that was in 2018.
And did that lead to, because we know what diabetes does to the body, did that lead to the next part that I got to hear about at the
Nah, nah,
no,
no,
it's not
no,
connected.
no. That's not what happened.
Wow.
2023, November
Yeah.
the 6th.
Yep.
Before November the 6th, I was finding myself. Here's why I tell black men go get checked, because there's signs. There's signs. I would get up to go to the bathroom, Jimmy. I'd get out of the bed. I was so exhausted. I couldn't figure out why I'm so exhausted. I had to go. You know how you get, as a man, you get a signal that you have to go to the bathroom. Either you're going to move your bowels or you're going
Yep.
to urinate. From the time I get the signal, I get out of bed, plow, everything just came out of me on the floor.
Yes.
I couldn't make it to the bathroom. And I was like, ah. And I did the typical man's thing. I'm going to sleep it off. I'm going to sleep it off. That's what I do. I'm going to sleep it off. And I did that for like a week. And God bless my sister. My sister, her name is Francetta Walltower.
Yep.
Fran, like out of all my sisters, this is my bully. This is the one that bullies me. She's only like 4'11", but she bullies me. So my wife was like trying. My wife, her mother was trying to get me to go to the hospital. I said, I ain't going to no hospital. I'm good. I'm good. I get up. I'm sitting up in my drawers. This is the middle of the day, Jimmy. I'm sitting up in my drawers, getting ready to watch the Patriots game. My wife said, "Could you put something on?" Nope, my house. I ain't doing nothing. My sister called. She was on her way to church, and my wife said, "I can't. He won't listen to me. He won't. He's hard headed." My sister took an Uber and came to the house. Like, what do you mean you're not going to the hospital? She called right in front of me and said, "What are you gonna do?" I go, "Okay." Here's the funny part of the story, and ladies and gentlemen, just know this is my comedic view of what happened. This is nothing. I love every Jimmy will tell you I love everybody. I mess with everybody. So
Mm-hmm.
Jimmy, when the ambulance came, it was 3 women. It was 3 women, and I was like, okay. And
And you're in your drawers.
I said, I'm 270 pounds. There ain't no way these chicks gonna get me out this house. They bought the little chair because we had like 8 steps to get down. And the lady said to me, "Do you know what today is?" Like I was like, "Yes, today is today." She said, "Oh, we funny. We funny." She said, "So you real funny sitting there in your drawers." I go, "Nah, I'm good. I'm getting ready to watch the game. Y'all want to sit down? You want something?" I was like, "What?" I'm having a conversation to him like I'm fully clothed. I'm just in my underwear, Jim, just sitting on my couch. I think one of my testicles was hanging out the side, and, and I was just sitting there. And, and, and I said, "You know what? You all can leave then. If you don't want to watch the game with me, you can leave. I'm not going to the hospital." Jim, this has to be the biggest lesbian I ever seen in my life. She poked me in my chest. Like, look, Jimmy. She was like, "Look, you are going." Jimmy, that hurt so bad. I wanted to talk back, but you know what I said, Jim? I don't think you're supposed to be doing that, ma'am. I don't think you're supposed
I got real humbled real quick and said, "You're not supposed to do that. I don't
I
feel."
don't think you're supposed to do that. Because when I say she poked me, oh, she poked the hell out of me, Jimmy. I was like, I don't think you're supposed to do that, ma'am. They told my wife to get me put something on, sweatpants, sweatshirt. It's November 6th. They're taking me to the hospital. I'm still a clown. I go, "Excuse me. If this is such an emergency, I'm in the back of the ambulance. I want to hear the whoop, whoop, whoop. I want to see the flash, flash, flash. I want it all. Give me the whoop, whoop. Give me the wop, wop. Give me the everything." She was like, "Would you be quiet?" I was like, "Give me the whoop, whoop. Give me the whoop, whoop." The lady was like, "Would y'all turn the damn sirens on so he can shut up, please?" I was like, "Look, I'm somebody. I'm special." I get in to Beth Israel emergency room. It's so crowded. I'm in the hallway, and a doctor, God interceding again, say, "Hey, what's going on with you?" I said, I have no idea. I was passing my urine, my vials. I couldn't hold them, and this and that, and this and that. So he ran some tests on me and brought me back. Still didn't find nothing. But next thing I know, I woke up 6 days later in intensive care.
You lost 6 days.
I lost 6 days. They told me my kidneys shut down. Then they came back and say, "Hey, we ran some more tests. You have pools of infections in your liver." Oh, no, 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 hold on. They had me on dialysis. I found this thing in my chest. And I'm like, "What is this?" They said, "Your wife and sister said do whatever we needed to do." I said, "You should have put this in one of them because I don't agree with this." So I had them cracked up. So, 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 I'm in there. I'm going through They have me in a dialysis 3 times a day, 4 hours a day. I did wake me up. Oh, at that time, I lost all motor skills. I couldn't walk, couldn't go to the bathroom. I had to use the bathroom in the bed because I couldn't get up. For them to, they said I must have caught an infection or something. That all that trickled down. So every time they moved me, they had to use this lift to get me out of the bed, to put me on a gurney, to take me anywhere. So this thing was like the amusement park in the hospital. I was doing every day. This was what they was doing, and I was like, "Oh God!" I felt once again, I felt less than a man. I felt less than a man, and I questioned God while sitting there. But
Yep.
I also said, "God, have your way." I also said, "God, have your way," because I'm a true, things happen for a reason. And when I'm going through this, they told me that I'd be on dialysis for the rest of my life. And I said, jokingly, I said, "Nope, you're a liar. You're a liar. I know a better doctor than you. I don't believe it." But I got to the point, Jimmy, my mental health checked in. I got to the point that I was so depressed that I couldn't walk. I had very minimum movement in my upper body. I was depressed because that's not what I'm used to doing. So I got to the point that I was just like, damn, do I want to be here? Do I want to put this burden on my wife and my family and my kids? So I got to that point. I was there, but something kept me moving. You know what kept me moving? My belief that my family needed me to be around. But that kept me motivated. And I remember they came and they said, okay, what are we going to do about these infections in your liver? You got 2 large pools of infection. We could do 2 things. I go, okay, what's the 2 things, doc? He said, we can go in and cut it out, or we can drain it. I said, I'll go with option 2, sir. Let's drain it. Because I didn't want to be cut open to cut nothing out. I might need it because they were talking about my liver, and I drink a lot, so I need the capacity to drink my whiskey. So that's just me.
To level your blood sugar.
Right. That's what I needed. So now I'm sitting in bed. You can see the drain out my back. There was 2 of them. Off each one, you can see the pus and the infection coming out. You understand? And
Yes,
this
sir.
thing was, I was in that hospital for 40 some days, and I was going to dialysis. I was trying to learn to walk again. They had me in that point that I was just there. But then there was a turning point. I I am a man that believes in my family. One of my nieces, Chakima Monet Sharice Waltower, she came by the hospital. And I remember she was like, Uncle Booby, you got to get better because me and you got things to do. I'm coming over. I'm going to cook for you. I don't care what your wife said, yada, yada, yada. I go, okay. I get a call. And they told me my niece passed away. I'm still in the hospital. I got these things in my back. So I'm pushing the button. I'm pushing the button to get somebody's attention. I said, I need to talk to the doctor. These drains look like they almost, because it went from pus and you start seeing some remnants of a little blood. So that means it's cleared out.
Yep.
This call came in on Wednesday. I get a text on Thursday. Somebody called saying, we're going to do a prayer visual for your niece in Almont Park. We know you can't make it there. Nobody told me. Nobody told me. I went to the doctor. They said, well, we're going to pull. We can't pull it out yet because it's not clear, but we can't hold you. I told them the story. One of my good friends came and picked me up. They was having a visual at 6. He picked me up at 5:30. We went right to Almont Park and pulled me on the basketball court where they were doing the prayer. And I walked out and everybody go, oh, it's Uncle Booby, look out. So, and I prayed for my niece, and I prayed for her friends, and I and I prayed for everybody that was sad and things. You know what I didn't pray for, Jimmy?
What? Yourself.
I didn't pray. I didn't pray for me.
Mm-hmm.
I prayed for everybody else, but I didn't pray for me because I'm a true. My mama always said, when you pray for somebody else, your blessings will come. Your blessings will come. We buried my niece. I cried, and I remember this is in December. I'm still going through dialysis. And I remember the dialysis doctor said to me, what can I do to make you feel better? I said, you can take this shit. I mean, you can take this thing out my chest. He was like, well, you're going to have that for the rest of your life. I said, I'm going to tell you, like I told that doctor, I don't believe so. I don't believe so. I think this is God's way of telling me that he's in control. Moving forward, January, they start running tests. I used to go 3 times a week. Then the nurse, like, every time you go in the morning on Monday, you'd have to urine and they take your blood, and Friday on your way out, they do the same thing. So I went Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Monday I gave blood and thing. Friday, she said, the doctor wants signs of things moving. He wants you to just do 2 days next week. Don't do all three. Just do 2 days. I go, okay. I did the 2 days for like 2 weeks. The blood test and everything came in. He was like, wow, the doctor wants you to do 1 day next week. I said, okay. Then they gave me this jug to urinate in for 48 hours. Because this is how they test your creatine. I believe if I'm saying it right.
Yeah,
Okay, thank you very much, sir. And they gave me to me, I was like, so is this if I run out of gas? This is like a little gas jug? Is this what I'm supposed to use this thing for? And here's and he was like, no, you need to just every time you got to urinate, do it in here for 48 hours. Sometime we start doubting God in his way because in that 48 hours, Jimmy, I only had halfway full. I thought I'd have filled that thing up and I couldn't, it didn't feel like that. I took the jug back. This is the first week in February. She's like, your blood and everything is working, man. You keep this up, you'll be out of here. I was like, cool. I remember, Jim, I remember I had stopped the Black Comedy Explosion because I was sick. And that was in November. So there was no comedy in November, no comedy in December. I said, you know what? I can walk, I can get around. February the 14th, Valentine's Day. I said, I'm going to do a comedy show, my first show back. And, I called some heavy hitters to be on the show. That Wednesday, I'm getting dressed. The lady from the dialysis in Brookline. Let me tell you something. Those two nurses that ran that, they were Black women. They were spectacular. They treated me unbelievably. She calls me at 5. I'm about to get dressed to go to Slade's. I see the call. So in my mind, I'm already thinking negative. I go, yeah, I guess I got to come back on Friday and Monday and Wednesday for dialysis. She goes, yeah, I'm here to tell you. I said, should I sit down? She said, you can sit down if you want, but here's the news. You don't ever have to do dialysis again. In my mind, I was like, man, look how good God is. Comically, I said, lady, don't take this the wrong way. I wish I'd never see your ass ever again. She said, I don't want to see you again either, Mr. Gates. And so those are my walking testimonies, how great God is. It's Testimony Tuesday, isn't it?
It is Testimony Tuesday. And I got to say, and not to get too deep, but there is this belief in scripture that when God does things in the doubles, if there's references in the Bible where he calls someone twice, and it's really a huge pronunciation. Dickerson actually taught us this. So ask him about this. I didn't know about the first one. I thought it was all compacted, and to hear that they're not related. So it's two, which is man, I'm not going to go too deep into that, but I wanted men to hear your testimony. And I'm going to ask you a very blatant question. As much as you acknowledge, and for you, the philosophy in this that got you through it is that it had to happen and happen this way. If you could go back, Uncle JG, in reference to what men need to do, would you do things differently? And you know where I'm coming from.
Yeah, depends on which mindset you want me to use. Do you want me to use the pre-problem, JG, or going through the fire and hell and God bring me out, JG? Which one do you want to answer that?
Which one do you answer the one that you think would have the most impact for the brothers that need to pay attention to their health?
I'm going to use this one. The more you think that you can't, just know that you can. The more you put things off, just know the heavier your burden will be. I put it to you in an analogy. It's like your gas bill. Your health is like your gas bill. If you don't pay your gas and your light bill, it compounds, it compounds, it compounds until one day you get a shut-off notice. Now, if you don't do this by then, you will no longer have your light or your gas. Well, if you don't go to the doctors, you don't get these tests, you don't get things corrected, your life will be cut off. So it's up to you. You can sit and say, I got it, or you can stop and let God have it. It's up to you. So I've been through it, and I squandered my way. I should have not put my family through those 46 days. I should not have put my mental through those 46 days. If I can go back and tell myself, like when they told me I was pre-diabetic, I should have changed everything right there. I should have just said, okay, what do I need to do to stop? When I had the first episode with my bowels and urine just leaking out of me and I couldn't move, I should have ran right then. Maybe I wouldn't have ended up in intensive care, but they could have turned tides on it. Just like right now, go get your colon checked, gentlemen, because colon cancer is killing black men at an alarming rate. Go get your heart checked. Go get your blood sugar. Go get your kidneys. Go get your liver. Go get checked. Do whatever you need to do. Hell, you paying enough for insurance, you might as well use it. And I'm telling you, use it now because it's going to be either you use that policy now or your family has to use your life insurance policy to bury you. You decide which one's more important for you.
You talk about a public service announcement. All of this here is a PSA for our brothers. I was very intentional about mixing a testimony with also because influence is everything, and you have a lot of influence. And I know that there are brothers that would never hear me or never hear Doc or whatever, but coming from you, there's a message in here. So we're going to clip this up and make sure we get it out. But Uncle JG, there's always been this respect for you. The nervousness is you did well today. You didn't no raggedy Jimmy.
Man, I got so much love for what you do, man, because to me, you are a community messenger, and I would be insane to try to frame or do anything to belittle everything you've done, and mostly I'm scared of your damn mama. I don't want to have no problems with your damn mama. I'm gonna tell you right now.
Uncle JG, and I thank you because you are a straight shooter.
Yeah, I don't have time.
You're dead to listen. So I appreciate that affirmation. And Uncle JG, I love you. From the time you had me turning red down in the basement at 106.1. I was working for Menino, and Uncle JG was I was in my suit and trench coat and whatnot, and he saw that I was nervous, and he just
I would not let go. I would not let go. I would not let go. And look, you know what? When I get somebody like that, I'm like a shock. I go, oh, let's go, little fella. You want to play? You want to play with Uncle JG? Well, let's go. So yeah, but I do love you, man, and I love our banter. You know, I want to do something, and I want to do something, and me and a friend of mine, Sean Hunter, talked about doing it. Sean Hunter now is one of the guys working with Orchard 7, the restaurant.
Out in Dedham.
Right. And Sean Hunter was the manager at Slade's when he was there. And we have a good rapport. And he said, you know what you should do? We should have, and I would love to have you a part of this. We should have men's meetings. And you know what we was talking about? You ever watched The Shy?
A little bit.
When they had The Shy, where all the men got together so men can talk to other men about their situations, their mental health, what they're going through. I've seen, and that's amazing, because we've been talking about this for like 3 months to put it together. I seen on I forgot where it was at. I seen DC Fly. I seen the guy that plays
Kirk Franklin. Yep.
yes, and they were having a conversation. What we men in Boston need.
It is definitely needed. You got, I think you know Joey Bennett. He does the yard time thing on Tuesdays. I've been mentioning it is needed, and it also is okay for men to be vulnerable, among other men. And
Right.
so you let me listen. You're one of those that when you call, as long as it's not between July 4th and July 21st. I'm there, Uncle JG. Anything like that, let me know. And in my role as the commission, I'm over health and wellness, so keep me abreast because we can, support it. There's fatherhood that you can speak to and so forth. So I'm down. You just let me know.
Yeah, this is something I think that we well needed. There's a lot of good men in this city that don't have no one they can talk to.
Yep.
Because they're supposed to be able to talk to their spouses, but they'll only open up so much. But when I can look across the room and I seen Chris and I heard Chris was going to something similar. Now I can say that brother Chris, I was like, listen, man, I know what you've been through.
Yep.
I know what you're going through. I went through yada yada yada. Now Chris can open up and go, you know what? I'm going through the same crap right now. And now it's a safe place. There's no judgment. It's just that we're able to talk to one another to get our feelings out, get our emotions out. Because talking about it is one of the quickest ways to heal mentally. I don't know if I'm making good points or you just don't want to talk to me no more.
No, because Thaddeus has told me, I can run my mouth. And Thaddeus has told me when folks make good points, I tend to run my mouth and I've learned to shut up. And so I'm just being quiet so we can get all these nuggets because you preaching.
Oh, okay. I thought you was mad at me, Raggedy Jimmy.
Uncle Jay, let me clarify one thing because you said something earlier, and I know, but you and I have our relationship, and so any jokes or side swipes or whatever, it ain't no defame, it ain't nothing. It's just if you ever walked up to me and said, "Hello, James Jimmy Hill," and said nothing else, I would run because I'd be scared. Like, what the hell? So just listen.
Why would you run, Jimmy?
Because you were being polite to me. I'd be scared. I have the type of relationship with some people. I told them, I said, the more I crack jokes, the more rude I am to you. That means that I like you. If I ever walk up to somebody and say, "Good afternoon, how are you?" You better run because I'm not, we're not cool then. But I don't know what you got going over there with the chirping in the morning versus the.
If you look, Jim, look in the background. I'm sitting outside.
I know, but all of a sudden at the end here, it just, I don't know what's going on there.
Oh, that's God letting you know that's God saying he's here.
No, that's God saying it's time for us to go.
No, that's God saying I'm here. God said you were talking to one of my chosen one. And he's been over me for so long and my family. Listen, I'm one of those guys that believe and trust in God. Coming up on June 26th, it had been 19 years since my mom passed for cancer. But leading up to my mom's death, my oldest aunt died in December. My grandfather died in May. My mom died in June. In July, I had two uncles die. Then continuing that year, I had another aunt died. Then I had another uncle died. So and then my youngest sister passed away. So in a year and 3 months, we buried 7 people. And I not once questioned him. My family, we were one of those Southern families that we had so many people. And to one, much is given, much is expected. So when he brought my family home, he was just telling the rest of us, it's time for you to step up now, time for you to take that uncle leadership, time for my sister to take that aunt leadership, time for my brother to be the matriarch of the family. That's what it is. Everything is evolution. That's why when people pass, there's a passage that said, let the dead bury the dead, but celebrate their life. that you know, I might be paraphrasing it, but I know that's what it is. So when I went to my friend's service yesterday, and I talked to his sons, and I talked to the wife, and she was like, "Oh, he loved you." I said, "I loved him." You know what I mean? And I talked, and everybody was there. And then we went to the repast, and they asked me to speak, and then they was doing something else. And when you called me, that was the time I was sitting on my porch smoking a cigar, just reflecting on my friendship with him. I gave people my time, so now I was giving him his time. And I tell people all the time, if you love somebody, excuse me, Jimmy, means to be absent in the body, means to be present with the Lord. And if you believe in that wholeheartedly, you shall see you should see righteousness in because Jesus said, "In my house there's many mansions. If it was not so, I would not tell you so. And when I come back to take you to my family's house." So DC, I could do this all day long, Jim. I could do this all day long.
It's needed, and I don't think, you know, that piece you said about the brothers just coming together and talk. This is no agenda, just being able to build off of one question and one statement. So I really appreciate you, one, sacrificing your time, because listeners today are walking away encouraged. I haven't even went into the comments. There are 73 of them here. And I know folks really enjoyed the testimony, the comedy, and the encouragement. My sister, I made it out to Jonathon Gates F cancer still last year, who my sister's also a survivor, and it was a great time. And so, and Kenya, who you know was in, rest in peace, brother Ruvel. And so I really appreciate you, because I was encouraged, I was challenged a little bit today, even on the health side, to you know, do better. So I appreciate you, Uncle, and you know, Marvin's going to talk some trash, because I haven't had Marvin on in the morning hour yet, and when he sees this, I can guarantee I'm going to get fixing something later today. Watch.
Good.
I appreciate you so much. And you know, I'm here. Anything about that men's group or whatever, you let me know, and I'll support and do whatever.
Well, I appreciate you, man. Tell your mama I said hi.
Oh, she's on here.
Hey, mama, how you doing? Tell your mama I said hi, and keep doing what you're doing, brother. Keep doing what you're doing. You are making a difference, and you know, it only takes one snowball to turn into a mountain, and your little snowball is turning into a boulder.
Uncle JG, I love you, man, and I'll see you out in the community, and I'll say it before you leave, because I thought you were going to get me sometime during this week.
Well, you know what I say. I love you, Jimmy, and a damn thing you can do about it.
I know that's right. And when I finally make it out to the Black Comedy Explosion,
yeah, you've been telling me that. Listen, don't stop lying to me. You know what you are, Jimmy.
See, we got them technical difficulties, right?
You're a bad relationship. That's who the hell you are right now. That's what you're a bad relationship dude.
They want to know more about Raggedy Jimmy in the Snowball. Raggedy Jimmy, aka Little Snowball. You know what? That sounds. Get off here, Uncle JG, because now they're going to start calling me. That's my rap name, Little Snowball.
Talk about how you got the name Raggedy Jimmy.
Because during that interview, I think we were on stage and we were in this serious conversation, and I couldn't get my hair braided that weekend, so I wore it out, and it was curly. And in the middle of the interview, Uncle JG looks at me and says, "Would you say something about the curls?" And look at there is the wonderful wife. Something about the curls, and look at
I was like, yeah. He was like, you know, you walked by me and you had it was hanging out like Raggedy Ann. I said, "Hey, it's Raggedy Jimmy," right in the middle of the interview. I'm sorry. You know, that's me and my ADD, man. Yeah, that's what that was.
But I had to do a full stop. I had to sit there and look at you for 2 seconds and was like, man, listen. But see, these are the moments we need of Black joy and just all. You don't look at this. This is something that naturally comes you, and it's a gift, and it's anointed. So we appreciate you.
Well, thank you. You know what? If anytime you want me to chime in on Black Joy, and you just want me, even if it was a 5-minute segment, I'm here for you.
That's all I needed to hear. You get a good sponsor because your time is worth it too. This is your skill and your craft.
Well, I like that too.
Yeah.
That's right. Moments with Uncle JG is brought to you by Sweet Smoky Joe's Barbecue.
I thought you was going to say Sweet Smoky Joe's sausages.
No, shut up. See, you almost made me. You almost made me. You almost. See, the problem with you don't know. You know how they play volleyball when they put it at the net? That's what you be doing with me. You be putting it on the net. And yeah. And I almost went there.
I set you up.
Yeah. You set yourself up. I almost went there. I'm like, nah, I can't do that to Jimmy today. It's Testimony Tuesdays. Because I do not want. You know what I don't want, Jimmy? I don't want to lose your friendship.
No,
I don't
never.
Hold on. And I don't want your mama mad at me. and this is going to get. Only one's going to get this is me and you. I definitely do not need one of those protests in front of my house.
Get off me. Look, especially this one. Uncle JG, get off of here. I love you,
man. I'm trying to go get my mail. All on my porch, like, leave Jimmy alone.
They what you call it? They're gonna have a sign with hair hanging off.
I don't want no issues, brother. You know I love you.
I love you too. Get off of here because they'll get mad at me.
Hold on, they're gonna get mad at you in a minute. But I'm trying to always, and if you don't mind,
go ahead.
I'm trying to self-promote right here. But you know, I've been doing the Black Comedy Explosion in the city of Boston for 38 years. So I was I started at the Rose Club. Then we took it to the Comedy Connection in Faneuil Hall. Then we was at Slade's for 19 years. I'm no longer at Slade's. I'm at the Carver Den. And we was doing good at the Carver Den. Then I just had another testimony coming for you, Jimmy. I just had spine surgery. I didn't tell. I don't know if you knew this.
Yeah. I saw that. Yeah.
Look, I'm coming from the Patriots game. I'm coming from the Patriots game, October the 6th. Putting the stuff back in my back in my backyard, coming from the game. My legs give out. I hit the ground head first. I lost all feelings in my right side of my body. I was like a movie. My right arm was back here. I can feel it, but I can't see it, and I couldn't move it. My sons them came out. They set me in a chair. My legs would not stop jumping. They ran me to the hospital. Come to find out, my spinal cord, C3 to C7, has been damaged for a long time for me playing football back in the day. And it's pushing in on the nerves. And that's what was happening. My leg was giving out. I just thought it was still me healing from when I was sick. Yep. So the doctor comes in. This is October the 7th. When I woke up, they were like, yeah, look at this. And they showed it to me. And I was like, yeah, what's that mean? They're like, well, you need to have surgery because it's going to keep happening. I said, okay, when would you like to schedule that? They said, what about tomorrow? I said, October the 8th? I said, we're not doing that. So another doctor comes in another hour and said, yeah, we need to do surgery. What about tomorrow? October the 8th? We're not doing that. I told the last guy, I'm telling you. So finally, the third doctor goes, why won't you do October the 8th? I said, that's my birthday. Ain't no way in hell I'm going to be laid up in here in the surgery with a birthday. So they let me go. And they said, call a spine specialist to set up an appointment. And the more I called, they was like, we don't have nothing. This is in December. This is in October. They told me they couldn't see me till March or April. So I called my primary, Dr. Bates, and I was like, evidently it's not that special because they can't see me. I get a call back from the spine specialist within an hour. Can you be here tomorrow at 10 o'clock in the morning? That's how, see, God interceding. My specialist called. I went to go see Dr. P. Doctor is Greek, Dr. Papadopoulos or whatever his name is. He's like, well, they was right, but they were wrong. I need you to go get an MRI for me. And he said, he sent me over and they said, I want you to come back. He showed me this film. Now, when you look at the film, you'll see a white canal, and the dark thing in the white canal is your spine. There was no space. There was no canal.
When you said the dark thing, I
Right.
know from being in medicine, there's no mass there. There's nothing for the X-ray to pick up.
Right. So he was like, listen, well, you should have the surgery. I said, okay, but why? He said, well, don't have it. Next time you fall, you'll be paralyzed and you'll die. There's a couple of things you don't say to black men. You gonna kill me? Killing me is not one of those. So we scheduled, and he said, okay, we can go next week. I said, I can't right now, doc. I got like 8 shows scheduled that I'm contracted to that I have to do. He said, he said, when's your last one? I said, New Year's Eve, New Year's Day. He said, okay, looked at the calendar. He said, I'm open January 6th. Are you? I go, yeah. He said, I'll see you then. And I had spine surgery. I was in the hospital for that.
Yep. And recovery.
And recovery. So that's another blessing that I've been through. And I'm still fighting that. My right hand is numb. I still feel cold at times. And he told me it's going to be over a year till the nerves come back.
But we believe it's going to be 3 months by September.
Right. Mm-hmm.
You'll be let them know. So, Uncle JG, I got to step into my formal role in 11 o'clock.
I'm sorry, brother. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. This was good. The only reason we could keep going, the only reason I'm getting off is because I'm leading the meeting. So I don't want them to judge me for being late and talk trash.
Okay, brother.
But I appreciate you. I love you, and I'll follow up about the 5 minute when we get a sponsor in place.
Everybody that's out there listening, to every woman that's listening to me, whatever you need to do, make sure your man goes to the hospital to get checked up. Even if you have to hold your good, tell him if he don't go, he can't get no more. If you don't go, you can't get no more. And watch you get checked up real quick. You are in control. Make sure you get your man checked because time is not promised to anyone.
You ended it because I was going to say something else, but you ended it seriously. Uncle JG, thank you. And I'll be in touch. I appreciate you. Folks, I hope that you got some encouragement and some joy from having Uncle JG here today. I literally got to get into this 11 o'clock with the commission for the breakfast on Thursday. So we'll talk to you guys soon. Tomorrow morning, we have TEDx Roxbury with us. And on Thursday, that's where I'm getting off of here. So we won't have a show on Thursday. I'll talk to you guys soon. Thank you. Have a great day, everybody. And sorry to have to rush off. Peace.